Now let's talk about Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice. She's come into the news. Some 3 petitions, some people want her gone. Some others to say, no, we wanted to stay at Covicent. As if my little brother, who is also the member of parliament for the people of Old Tafo, he said, I let the woman stay. What are you doing? Godfrey Dami is there, all of them. And I've shown you in the previous week how petitions were written to the president at the time, Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. Those petitions were received. They were taken through the same processes, right? And they were transmitted, etc. And Godfrey Dami was the Attorney General, and hell didn't break loose. So people are beginning to question, why is Mr. Dami in court now? What has changed? Has the principle changed? I don't know. I digress a bit. We'll come to that. I'll play a video for you. A very interesting video of something that happened over the weekend. But I digress a bit. And the digression is that no amount of diversion will take our minds off the missing ECG containers. No amount of diversion or red herrings will take our minds off the allegation that a certain plane got into this country with cocaine and was involved in money laundering. No amount of diversion will take our minds off that. No amount of diversion will take our minds off Operation Recover or Loot. And no matter how we smile and show white teeth, the people down there, and I've said this notice to the NDC in government. I've said that if the NDC in government doesn't play the role that the people expect them to play, not to victimize people, not to harass people, but people who have genuinely taken from us must also genuinely be made to pay for it. If the NDC fails to let them pay for those things, the defeat that the MPP faced, right, there will be ×2 or ×3 for the NDC in 2028. Mark it somewhere. You will come back to me with my stone. I am no prophet, but I'm saying that if the NDC takes the people of Ghana for granted, and Operation Recover or Loot, Operation this, Operation that, all those things, people do not actually see signs, and it becomes like how the Special Prosecutor's Office was created. Marty Amidu, it was a big thing in opposition. Marty Amidu came, we didn't see show. Kisei Jabin is there, he says he's working, he's trying his best, he's giving us a list of cases that are before him, blah, blah, blah. The people want people who have taken from the country or alleged to have taken from the country, punished, being punished, to see that they want to see them being punished. And they also want a retrieval of whatever they say you claim they have taken. They don't want all those shows. So all these diversions. And let me serve notice again. I've come back with renewed energy. This is the renewed energy part 2 of Johnny's Bite. And I've said that if you lose an election, don't go about looking for people to hang the Why are you misleading them to think that it is the media that caused for them? Why are you fooling them? Nobody, I use the Jollof analogy. Don't find an opportunity to say, let us find these individuals and hang our garland of failure on them. No, it won't work. Take your well-woven garland of shame and hang it on your neck. Go back into complete reflect. That's what sensible people do. I digress. Now I come back. Play me the video of the theory and practice of the law. A very important citizen of this country who's also a law lecturer, and yes, and you see, somebody told me that, oh, Madam contested in the, I think it's the Boakwa North or so, on ticket of the MPP. That is not my focus. My focus is what was said relative to the petitions that have been brought before the system or the regime for the removal of Her Ladyship, the Chief Justice, and what thoughts she had to share about it. She's a teacher of the law. Listen.
But now we have a constitutional liberal democracy, which is bordering on with the principles of human rights, the right to be heard, the right to freedom and all that. We have all these freedoms guaranteed and enshrined in our constitution. Now, based on our constitutional liberal democracy, I'll say that we are akin to more of the presidential system of government as practiced in the US than the parliamentary, which is practiced in the UK. Now, in the US Constitution, yes, a Chief Justice of the US, in theory, can be removed, but only through the impeachment process, okay, as Honorable said. First, there's impeachment by the House of Representatives. By a simple majority vote is needed for that. And then there's a trial in the Senate. And after the impeachment, the Senate holds a trial and 2/3 majority is required to convict and remove the Chief Justice. But the process is very, 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 very rare. In fact, only one Supreme Court Justice, Samuel Chase, in 1804, has ever been impeached. And he was even acquitted when he went to the trial in the Senate. Why? Because the constitutional liberal democracy realizes the importance of the three arms of government. In Ghana, our constitution also recognizes the importance of the three arms of government. However, there are separate provisions for parliament, which is basically more partisan, okay? And then there are similar provisions for the Chief Justice when it comes to grounds of removal, and then the president. The president cannot be removed because we voted him into office and he or she has a term of 4. I always say he or she has a term of 4 years. Then it comes back to the electorate. The Chief Justice also has a term of office till age 70. He or she, as has been proven.
The president can be impeached.
In theory, we have all the grounds here. Article 69. In theory, we have all the grounds for the Chief Justice. Article 146. But in practice, it's never done. Never, ever done. Because if we do that, then we are just shredding the foundation of our democracy into pieces. Look, in Ghana, they said the president can be impeached. These are the grounds. If he or she violates the oath of office, including doing something inimical to our economy. And that one, then we can impeach the president any time, especially after the budget reading. Then, if the proven misconduct, so incompetence, proven misconduct, and then if the person is incapacitated in mind or body. We had a president who died on the job. Nobody ever went to parliament to say that he's he should be impeached because he's incapacitated in body and mind. The US had someone who was believed to have fainted on 1 or 2 occasions.
So that's the lady law lecturer, professor, doctor, teaches the law, and the students are supposed to follow through. Now, I leave it to your good judgment, but I was just thinking, so if I am a law student and I am looking at the theory and practice of the law, and I don't think along the same lines, and my script falls before my lecturer who thinks along these lines, what could possibly happen to my script? I'm asking a question. I'm not judging. That's one. Number two, so those who have been convicted by the theory of the law and the practice of the law, like Atayi, for example, would you also now be thinking about what is in the books as theory, but in practice it should not have happened? I'm asking a question. And why does the principle seem to change when the times change? I'm asking, I'm not judging. And in this particular instance, which portion of the law has been broken or sidestepped? I'm asking, I'm not judging. And what really, I mean, beyond the petitions that have come, we also seen reports, audit reports, etc., some monies. That's not my focus. But what if really there's some wrongdoing that's been done? Are we saying that because there's theory and practice, then I don't know. I've never been in a law classroom before, so I won't know. But my kakra, Are we injecting politics into it? Because in the tail end of the tape I played for you, we're now talking about Professor Mills and how he was sick in office and the rest. And some people on social media are now even talking about also Sewa Bruni. That if we're talking about somebody's ill health, then let's talk about somebody who was sane in his mind but had a slave queen on the plane with the person traveling around. Should that have also been grounds or basis? We are told not to politicize the matters. The citizens, we are told not to politicize the matter. And then right on that same altar, politicization happens. What's going on? Look, if you go onto the streets, and I say that most of our politicians do not relate with the streets. Some of us, we are street boys. We relate with the streets. We know the streets. They know us. If you go and listen to some of the thoughts that they have, some people who have never stepped, their way into a classroom before, if you listen to some of the thoughts that they have, I'm sure that it will guide our politicians a whole deal. I'm telling you. The theory and practice of the law. I said I am not a lawyer. I don't understand it. You and I. But now we have gotten the explanation. So we will wait.